Hello, I'm Marcy Bridges with the Office of Special Education and Early Learning. Welcome to the next presentation of our new series on Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. In this presentation, we will discuss engagement, or the why of learning. The first principle of UDL is engagement. Students like to know learning is going to be meaningful. Proper engagement, based on the principles of UDL, can help by stimulating interest and providing motivation. Some common questions heard in the classroom include, why do we have to do this? Am I ever going to use this? Why are we learning this? And is this going to be on the test? Choice can help fuel interests for students. It increases retention and builds confidence. As students learn more about a topic that is already of interest, connections are made in the brain. As students are asked to share that information with others, confidence will be evident in word choice, tone of voice, and even body language. Choice also helps students develop a love for learning and persist through their challenges. Learning is fun, but it is also very challenging, especially for students with disabilities. Helping students develop a love for learning and persist through those challenges makes them stronger and more resilient. It's important to remember that what reaches, excites, and challenges one student won't necessarily work for others. Providing multiple options for engagement is essential. Affect represents a crucial element to learning, and learners differ markedly in the ways in which they can be engaged or motivated to learn. There are a variety of sources that can influence individual variation in affect, including neurology, culture, personal relevance, subjectivity, and background knowledge, along with a variety of other factors. Some learners are highly engaged by spontaneity and novelty, while others are disengaged, even frightened by those aspects, preferring strict routine. Some learners might like to work alone, while others prefer to work with their peers. In reality, there is not one means of engagement that will be optimal for all learners in all contexts. This short video provides an introduction to engagement. Notice the way a student answers the why questions about learning and how it affects a learner's completion of tasks, which also affects their goals. Let's watch the video together.
The principle of engagement helps to address the following questions when working with learners. How do we get students to actively engage in learning? How do we motivate students to give effort and to persist through challenges? How can we help students monitor their own progress, set goals, and make plans to achieve those goals? The brain systems related to engagement make up the affective network. According to the Oxford Dictionary, to affect someone is to make a difference to them or to touch their feelings. For your students, this addresses the why of learning. Why should I learn this? Why is it worth my effort? Why is it worth the risk of failure? You will find variability in how each student addresses those questions and engages in the task to accomplish a specific learning goal. To address student variability, UDL directs teachers to provide multiple means of engagement. We'll take a closer look at the guidelines and checklists for this principle and give you some suggestions and resources for implementation in your classes.
Engagement uses UDL guidelines 7, 8, and 9. Guideline 7, which we will cover in our next video, is all about welcoming interest and honoring identities through choice, value, relevance, and minimizing distractions. Guideline 8, sustaining effort and persistence, urges teachers to clarify the meaning of learning goals, to vary demands, foster collaboration and a sense of community, and increase action-oriented feedback. Guideline 9 deals with emotional capacity by promoting expectations, beliefs and motivations, developing an awareness of self and others, promoting reflection, and cultivating empathy and restorative practices. More detailed information can be found at the CAST Engagement Guidelines and Checkpoints link at the end of this presentation on the resources slide. In the Take Action video at the end of this presentation, there are examples of how different engagement opportunities help learners see the relevance of knowledge. Engagement can happen during lecture or whole class discussion by adding value to the lesson. It can occur during group or peer work by fostering collaboration, and it can happen by helping students develop a personal goal. Engagement offers diverse ways for learners to be involved with course content, peers, and the instructor. Let's watch 2 examples of how engagement occurs in the classroom setting. One in an elementary setting and one in a secondary setting. In the elementary classroom example, we will watch a science lesson on the life cycle of the butterfly, while the high school classroom example is on mitosis. Please look for examples of engagement while watching. We will watch and review the elementary classroom first. So let's start our life cycle diagram. Just like we did our life cycle of the frog, you're going to draw your egg and label it by dragging and dropping the word egg. Okay, so go ahead and take a moment to do that on your tablets right now, please. So draw an egg. And remember, you can color them in kind of greenish yellow. And then use the drag and drop feature to label the picture with the word egg. Nice working, guys. I love it. Okay, so what is the second stage of the butterfly?
That's when the caterpillar hatches from the egg.
Good,
I
Jacob.
always say caterpillar.
Again, science.
Me too,
These
Jacob.
words. Yeah, what are you going to do with these words in science? My goodness. So you're right, Jacob. The caterpillar hatches from the egg, okay? So the term that we're going to use is the term larva. That's the fancy word for caterpillar. Find that word on your tablet, and you're going to draw your larva. What did the larva we saw, do you remember? The monarch larva. Do you remember what it looked like?
It had stripes, yellow and black stripes.
Yes, excellent.
It had some white on it too.
Yep, very good. So you can use your colors on your tablet to kind of show those color differences. Okay, do you remember what color the head was?
The head was black.
Teeny tiny, right? And what was coming off of the head?
It had the antennas on it.
Yeah.
It looked like it had 2 heads, like on the end of the antennas.
It kind of did. Yeah, you're right. Great observations, everybody. You are really using your good skills from when we went to the sanctuary this morning. Okay. Next stage is called the pupa. Kind of a weird word. P-U-P-A. This is actually a stage, or sorry, there is a stage we did not see this morning, and it's called the pre-pupa. And that is when the larva connects to where it's going to grow the chrysalis. So the chrysalis hangs upside down. from the leaf. And it makes
Yeah.
kind of a J shape. Okay, a J for Jacob and a J for Jayla.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it hangs there in a J shape. All right. So after it hangs upside down, the next is, it's no longer prepupa. Now it is the
Chrysalis.
chrysalis. Awesome. Good job. During the pupa stage is what we see the chrysalis. Okay, so find that on your tablets and try to draw your chrysalis. Do you remember what you observed this morning with the chrysalis? Like what color was it or what did it look like?
Well, I remember it was kind of smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It was like smooth, and there was like a top part and a bottom part.
Good, Jayla.
And
Yep.
it was like green, kind of like Jayla's shirt. It was
Yeah.
like an emerald, like a jewel or something.
Yeah. It was darker
And-
than the egg, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And I remember, like it was almost see-through. Like I think I could see the butterfly's wings in there.
Yes, Carlos, exactly. Because remember, we talked about how one of them was almost ready to emerge. So the closer it is for the butterfly to emerge, the thinner the skin of the chrysalis, and then you can almost see through it. Very good. Those are all great descriptions, guys. Did anybody notice the little ring around the chrysalis? I think that was my favorite part, actually. So please label your pupa stage when you complete your drawing. Remember discussing what happens in the chrysalis? We talked about it while we were outside. The larva uses enzymes to break itself down and rebuild into the beautiful adult form of the butterfly.
Oh, the butterflies.
Mhm.
That's when it's at the butterfly stage.
Yep, exactly. So the last stage is
Butterfly.
butterfly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the butterflies will reproduce and the cycle starts all over again. Okay, so let's recall all of this that we learned about the life cycles today. So there are 4 stages. So here's our visual, here's our picture. We have the egg. Remember we said it was kind of yellowish green and shaped a lot like the eggs that we eat sometimes for breakfast, right?
Yeah.
And then number 2, the black, yellow, and white caterpillar. And then here is our chrysalis with that ring around it. See there?
Yeah.
And then as it uses up those enzymes and starts to break down the chrysalis, then we get our beautiful monarch butterfly. So that's the 4
so
stages.
cool.
Pretty neat, yeah. In the elementary classroom example, UDL strategies used include hands-on, when the teacher mentions visiting the butterfly sanctuary, stating and restating the expectations, using wait time to allow for processing and answering, giving explicit feedback, summarizing the learning, and use of a visual. Next, we will watch the video showing a UDL-based lesson on mitosis. As before, please look for instances of UDL and its principles as we watch. Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to science class. Today we're going to learn about mitosis. We're going to learn what it is, and then you're going to create a model about cellular division. Okay, so mitosis is a really important part of cell division. It takes place in our bodies naturally. If there's no mitosis, there's no growth, there's no repair, there's no maintenance of our bodies. We need to understand how our bodies work because soon we're going to discuss what happens when they do not work, and that can be kind of scary.
Well, how does it help like repairing our body or when something goes wrong?
Great question, Jordan. Cells in our body have like a limited lifespan. Mitosis ensures that the old cells get replaced by new cells, and that keeps our bodies in good health. So tell me, whoever has had like an abrasion or a cut, a scrape, anything like that? Anybody?
Yeah, I have. In volleyball, I get it on my knees a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. You could fall off your bike. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could happen, right? So when you get your scrapes in volleyball, Sierra, your skin gets damaged a little bit, right? Mitosis
Yeah.
is the process that replaces the old cells with the new cells to keep your body functioning and to keep your skin repairing itself. Okay? So what do you guys think would happen if that did not work properly? What would happen if your cells just continue to replicate without any good stuff happening?
That probably would they would just keep on multiplying or like just all crazy, just go off crazy and keep
Right.
multiplying.
Yeah, exactly. And so if that happened, but these were bad cells, like for example, if your DNA were damaged, would we want the bad cells to replicate?
No, I mean, that could be bad, right? If they replicate it, that's kind of like how cancer works, right?
Yeah, exactly, Jordan. Yeah, and that could be really, really bad. So today, when we think about mitosis, I'm gonna give you guys a choice, okay? You've got 3 different options to demonstrate your knowledge and your understanding. So first, we're gonna watch a video to show the phases of mitosis, and in that video, you will notice this, okay? This is the way that mitosis works. See how it gets down here and it ends up splitting, okay? So after our video, then you're going to work in small groups to demonstrate a model, to build some type of model to show me that you understand. So you can do a stop motion video with your tablets. You can create a poster or like a PowerPoint, Canva, something like that. Or you can create a model with the clay that we have in the cabinet. Okay? Or, I mean, if you guys have a different option, you can propose that too. So any questions?
I don't think so. This should be pretty cool.
Yeah, I hope you guys have fun with it. Take some time and enjoy the process, okay? I'll be around if you need
Yeah.
me. Let's get started.
Okay.
The high school lesson on the mitosis included instances of UDL, such as use of a visual, real-world application and connection, stating the expectations, using wait time, and providing choice. In our next video, we will take a deeper dive into the first guideline of engagement, welcoming interest and identities, which consists of 4 secondary considerations. 7.1 includes choice and autonomy. 7.2 involves lessons that are relevant, valuable, and authentic. 7.3 urges teachers to incorporate joy and play into learning. And 7.4 asks teachers to address bias, threats, and distractions. This slide and video are for you to take action on your own. As a review of the engagement information presented today, watch this video from the Center for Excellence in Teaching and think about the strategies already in use in your own classroom. For example, did you find real-world applications? Did the teacher provide the students with an opportunity to provide input? Was there varying difficulty? Did the teacher provide prompt and frequent feedback? What new strategy can you add to your classroom? For additional information, please see the resources available here. For any questions, please contact me, Marcy Bridges. I can be reached at 502-564-5685. 4970, extension 4143, or by email at marcy.bridges@education.ky.gov. Thank you for watching this presentation on UDL, Engagement Overview, and Classroom Application.